Hey guys, what's going on? Just starting off this review by saying that I really like the character of Chairman Netero or Netero, whatever it is you want to call him, even with this new voice actor that they gave him, because obviously the previous one passed away. Although I did like the previous one a little bit better, just because his voice, he was the perfect balance between like a grandpa-ish friendly type of tone, but then he could also get very serious when he needed to be. So I just like the balance and the way that he was able to maneuver his voice in that sense. That being said, am I the only one who thinks that as much as I like him and as epic as his techniques looked in this episode with the palm thrust and the sweeping and by the way, he planned, I think he picked that location specifically because it was built over a tomb. The question is, whose tomb is it going to be? Is it going to be the king's tomb or is it going to be Netero's tomb? Because I'll be honest, again, as much as I like the character, it looks like Netero ain't doing jack shit to the king. Sure, he's rolling him around, slamming him into the ground, just flying into pillars, smashing into walls. But when you look at the damage, I mean, it's like the king hasn't taken anything. And the thing is, he hasn't even attacked. What I liked most about that scene, though, is the way that the animators decided to sort of illustrate this notion of real world time by showing us this pebble and then, gravity acting upon the pebble. And we see it move in slow motion, and we look at Netero and we see what's going on with him, like how fast he's moving his hands. And we kind of already knew that these attacks were happening within one fraction of a second, but I do think there's a difference between being told what's going on and just reading it and just understanding that that's going on versus seeing it on screen. I mean, the attacks, palm thrust, were great. The animation, specifically in that scene where we see Meruem just flying off and the camera sort of follows his ass as he slams into those pillars. I thought that was just great. But once again, it's like he's not doing anything. He's not attacking. He's just taking it just to see, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe he's entertained. And I don't think that he's in a position to kill Netero, not because he can't, but because one of the reasons why he's fighting, if you remember, is to find out what his name is. Because initially he just said, I want to have a discussion. One of the things that I love about this series is that it breaks a lot of these shonen type conventions, and like usually it's the quote unquote bad guy making the first move, just ready to go, about just being arrogant about their power. And in this case we have like the king who's like very humble. He's not going for, in fact, Netero's the one like, when did I start attacking my enemies first? So you kind of see the emotional and psychological complications that the king brings to the table because he is such a complex character. In fact, like, he's not your standard run-of-the-mill villain because he brings all these things to the table that usually a lot of shonen protagonists don't have to deal with. Remember, like, Netero was like, no, we can't start talking. If this talking thing goes down, that's very dangerous because I might start feeling empathy for this guy, and who knows how this shit will end up. If you give somebody, it doesn't matter who it is, if you give somebody the authority to decide how to make the wealthy, or how to bring justice upon the wealthy and those who just don't give a fuck about anybody, and you give the miserable some type of justice, or if you give the miserable some type of happiness, you are bound to fuck up. There is no way that you can establish a balance between those two things, just because it's just not part of nature, which is, and I don't like to bring in Naruto, but I do feel that one of the things that I think Itachi was referencing, and this is my belief, I do feel that equality is really, if you think about it, worldwide equality is an illusion. It really is. You can strive for it. I think it's important to fight for things. I think it's important to speak up when you're mistreated and treated with discrimination or just ostracized and stuff. But I do think that ultimately human nature does not allow for an equal playing field. It just doesn't. We are selfish. We are unfortunately we are flawed, and so Netero, I think, knows this. That's why I think he's using the knowledge of knowing his real name as bait to get him to fight. The beginning portion of this episode is actually very simple, I thought. Gon is still on that badass motherfucker type shit, like I'm gonna fuck this cat lady up. But I think in terms of like the story progression, the most important thing that we learn is, well, number one, Poof leaves, right? Or you know, he's gonna fight Knuckle. At least a clone of Poof is gonna fight Knuckle. But the two most important things that we get out of this scene, at least from my point of view, is the realization from Neferpitou that she has to go in for the kill when it comes to Gorn. Like, there's no way around it. Although she does say, I can't just do it immediately because Kamugi is still up for grabs. The second most important thing that I thought we got out of this scene was Poof realizing that if Knuckle is alive, that means Yuppie did not finish him off, and he has to find out why that was. Because he did perceive that change in Yuppie, so he's going to ask him what went down. And it looks like if he doesn't like the answer, there's going to be some conflict between those two. I really want to know what happens next. That solo or hard technique that Netero was about to use, it looked like it's going to be an epic blow, but I also feel like if that doesn't work, he's going to get his ass handed to him. No offense, I just feel like that's kind of like, it's just an intuition type of deal that I get from that. Because again, the king doesn't look to be taking that much damage. I thought it was a great episode. And some of you guys are upset that I don't do these reviews on a weekly basis, but I never committed to doing these reviews on a weekly basis. So, I mean, like, if you can't understand that I have other things on Tuesdays going on, then I'm sorry. You can unsubscribe. That's cool. Can't do them on Wednesdays because I do Naruto and One Piece, and then I have a class. I have to split after that. I can't do them on Thursdays. I won't commit to Thursdays because I think Naruto Shippuden is about to go into canon. So I'm going to use that time to use, for Naruto Shippuden. And by Fridays and afterwards, it's just way too much of a gap between the time that the episode comes out and the review. So it's just, understand. And if you can't, once again, I'm sorry. But believe it or not, life will go on. Thank you for watching, commenting, rating, and subscribing. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye.